Hey guys, how's it going? This is my first attempt at video in helping you guys with the homework assignment, so just bear with me as we work out all the kinks with this. But if you are watching, thank you for utilizing your class resources, and it's a delight to be doing this. Unfortunately, you just have to stare at my ugly mug for just a couple of minutes, but we'll go through this pretty quickly. So your homework assignment was Carts and Periodic Problems on page 43, and you have to do part 2 only. So just ignore part 1 for right now. And what you have to do in number 1 of part 2 is you have to come up with 3 examples of periodic functions in everyday life. So remember the word periodic, it means something that's repeating. It's like a pattern that's repeating over and over again. So one example I can think of off the top of my head of a periodic function would be like planetary orbits. For instance, the planet Pluto, what it does is it has an elliptical orbit, and it keeps going around in the same direction and repeating that pattern over and over again. In thinking about these examples, it's good to be very, very specific. So for instance, with Pluto, instead of just saying something like, well, the planet Pluto is periodic because it repeats the same pattern over and over again, I'd like you to be a little bit more specific. So maybe the distance between the Sun and Pluto is periodic because it's changing, but it's a pattern that's repeating itself over and over again. Okay? So that's just one example. In number 2, you're graphing one of those examples. You're sketching a graph of what one of those periodic functions may look like. So let me just give you an example of what a graph may look like. Imagine we were to graph our situation with the planet Pluto, our periodic function. My input or horizontal axis, I'll probably want to label that as t for time, because as time changes, Pluto goes around, and keeps going around in that circular motion. And let's say my y-axis, or let's actually not use y-axis, let's use the vertical axis, is the distance from the Sun. Well, if we think about planetary orbits, sometimes they're really close to the Sun, sometimes planets are really close, and other times they're really far, and it really depends on the phase of their orbital cycle. So Pluto may start off really, really far from the Sun, like let's just say this is far, and get closer and closer and closer and closer and closer and closer, and get there, and then eventually move further and further away again. So something like that. Looks a lot like a cosine graph, right? You don't have to have any sort of numerical values on your either axis. That's okay. I'm not expecting you to know facts about orbits or whatever else you choose, but I do expect some sort of curve that is periodic, that you could see it's periodic. And of course, we could keep going with this over and over again, and you guys get the general idea. So hopefully it's a good assignment for you. Email me if you have any questions. You have my email address, and we'll see you guys tomorrow.